I think it's time to pour some more RFT bars. Hey everybody, it's Rob with Rob Finds Treasure, and for today's video, I thought we would go ahead and melt some generic silver rounds using my molds and do some RFT silver bars. Now, instead of the Devil Forge today, I'm gonna try out my electric furnace again. Now, I have two electric furnaces. One started having all kinds of issues, and one of my friends donated me this one. It's a little bit better of a model. It gets a little bit hotter. We'll give it a shot, see how it goes, and see if we can make some bars. So this machine is pretty basic. You add the silver into the crucible in there, and I've got about 20 ounces in there right now. I'll have to add more. My plan is to pour 13 bars between 1.8 and 2.3 ounces. That's what I'd like. I've got 30 ounces. Would be nice to get 15 total poured, but at least 13 is my hope. Once you've got it in there, you gotta make sure it's plugged in, of course. You just turn it on like that. Now it's gonna take a second to cycle through, and it's gonna give you a readout right now. We're at 29 degrees. The setting that I have for is 1150. Now that's the max setting. We don't need to get that high. So I'm gonna take it down a little bit. Technically, silver melts around 980 to 985 degrees. I do want this to be a little bit hotter, so it gives me some time to pour a few times from it. But I'm gonna put it at about 1075. I probably won't get it to that temperature, or I don't need it to get to that temperature. But I do want to pour a couple of bars, be able to dump them out, pour a couple more, dump them out, and pour a couple more before it completely cools down, so I don't have to put the crucible back in there and let it reheat up. I won't talk too much more. This video is mostly going to be you seeing me pour the bars. The idea is that it'll be, from this clip forward, a whole bunch of successive pours with close-ups. I'll be back when that's at temperature and we're ready to pour. Oh, and by the way, you can see it heating up by the seconds here. We're now at 49 degrees. Let's try this out and see how we do. There's one bar. It's already cooling, as you can see. There's 2 bars. It's a little splatter. We'll put the crucible back. Let the stuff get hot again. And we'll flip these out and see how they do. Not too shabby. Give them a quench. And go for a couple more. Get them a quench. And wait to do a few more. First one's a little light, but it'll be a small one. And let's quench them. Might have to add some more silver to the crucible pretty soon. So I'll be adding after this round no matter what, and I'll give you a look at what we've poured so far.
Those didn't come out too bad. It's easier to pour when the crucible is not full of silver, because it's a little heavy, of course. And let's quench these bad boys. Sorry I'm not getting a shot of the quench. You can hear it, but I just don't have another camera right now. So here's a quick look at the bars we've poured so far. This is the smallest of them, probably just over an ounce. But we've got 9 bars. My goal was to do 13. I've just refilled the crucible. After I get the next set of bars poured until we can't pour anymore, the next step will be to put my RFT stamp on all the tops of them and then flip them over after I weigh them and get them stamped with 3/9 fine and their weight and the serial numbers. Let me get the other ones poured, which I will show you, and we'll get on to stamping. It's heavy again because I added more silver. But we got it. Get these guys dumped out and see if we can actually go for another round. We'll get them quenched. Time to dump them and quench them. Ooh, that's a heavy one. I don't know if we'll be able to get one more after that heavy one. Yeah, it's beefy. I might have enough for one more. We'll try one more and see if I can get it poured. But that last one was probably about 0.2 ounces heavier, which means it's going to be tough to get one more out of there. We'll try though. We'll see if we can do it. I don't know, it feels really light. You know what? That was not too bad, and it is a heavy one, so we would not have gotten 2 more regardless. So we got a couple of bigs, but we'll take them. All right, I'll be back when I've got these all set up. All right, we got 16 bars out of it, and I used 30 ounces, or I had 30 ounces of generic silver rounds and bars. I didn't use an ounce, and I'll show you why at the end of the video. But one of the ounces was not used, so we had 29 ounces and 16 bars. Comes out to about 1.8 ounce per bar. Now that being said, some of these are going to be over 2, and some are going to be around 1.5 to 1.7. So basically 1.8 average. I'll see how many are close to 2, but I'm kind of glad we got some smaller ones because most of my pours fall in the 2.1 to 2.4 range. So I'm glad we actually made bars that were around 2 ounces or less. That way we have some more affordable bars that I can sell. Because each of them exhibits a little bit of the crucible pieces on top, I think what I'm going to do is I'll end up tumbling these regardless. Typically I wouldn't tumble them, but they do have some of that crucible stuff. Maybe when I stamp them it'll come off, but I want them to be bright and shiny. So I think what I'll do now is get them stamped on the front, show you what they look like, then I'll flip them and stamp the back, and then I'll tumble them and give you a final preview of that as well. Figured I'd give you a quick look at the progress. We've got them all weighed up and stamped with their weights on the back. And then all of them have the RFT logo stamped on the front. Like I said, I'll tumble them to polish them up. Just wanted to give you a quick look. Now I've got to put OZT, 3/9 fine, and the bar numbers next. And I'll give you a shot of that when I'm done. All right, it's been about 45 minutes and they are hand stamped. I know. That 62 is not that even, but hey, faults and mistakes happen, and we don't care. They still look pretty cool. Next step, like I said, is I'm gonna take the first batch right here of 8 and put it in the tumbler for about 30-40 minutes, and then I'll do the second batch, and I'll bring you guys in after they're all shined up for a final thought and look at these hand-poured silver bars. All right, we have got all the bars completely tumbled and polished. They're ready to go. Just wanted to give you a look at the backs, but before I do that, I said in an earlier clip that I didn't melt 1 ounce of the silver that I had, and I'll show you why. I just couldn't bring myself to melt these 2 half-ounce items. They're pretty cool, and I just thought, you know what, maybe I'll just stack them in my collection and not melt them. So that's why we had 1 ounce less to melt than I originally planned. But either way, we'll just kind of zoom in on the backs of these. 48, 50. Now the reason why bar 49 is already poured is because I had enough silver for 1 more bar in the last batch. So I had a subscriber who was wanting bar 49, so I skipped 48 to do 49 for him since I had just enough to do 1 more bar. Then I had to go back and pour 48 and then pick up where we left off at 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, that one's spoken for, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, and then 61 through 64. Let me flip them around on the other side and I'll give you a look at what the other side looks like. So here's the other side. I've got them in the order of the serial numbers, and you can get an idea of what they look like. They've got my RFT stamp on the front, highly polished. It is 3/9 fine, like I said. This one's a 2.1 ounces Troy, number 51. Now that they're all done, I figured I would just let you guys know that there are some of these available other than bar 55, 61, and 63, which are accounted for. But if you're interested in any of the other numbers, or you have a first or second choice preference, please send me an email to robfindstreasure55@gmail.com. I will go in the order that I receive emails for interest. I will quote you a price for your bar. It comes with a COA, the bar, and a jeweler's bag, and an RFT sticker. Anyway, just wanted to show you that we got the bars done. 16 more bars. Serial number 64 is the last one, and sometime in the next few weeks, we'll pick up on serial number 65. Hopefully you enjoyed this silver bar pouring video. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, happy stacking, and thanks for watching.